Okay, so I just saw this. I'm going to make a quick video because I've been doing a lot of Guardians of the Rift recently. So let's see what changes they're going to make because it's very, very annoying. So before we kick things off, we'd like to say that we'll be hosting Discord today. Earlier this year, we outlined a number of changes to Guardians of the Rift as part of Poll 82. The post here is to get you up to speed on what they are and tell you everything you need to know to get involved in a beta test for them. One of the main reasons for us running space is to let you all get hands on with our changes on a game scale in large groups, so we'd love to see as many of you as possible have a go for at least a game or two. Tell your friends, your family, your pets, everybody's welcome. We'll walk through a similar fashion in recent winter halt changes, beta breakdown, going through each of the changes in the order you'd likely encounter from start of a round to stocking up on everyone's favourite loot. Okay. So let's kick off with everybody's favourite phase, standing outside the entry barrier hoping that you can click it before the lobby fills up. Oh yeah, that's so annoying. Like I was trying to get in recently and it's just like I think 4 rounds had happened and I just couldn't get any. Um, if that sounds awful, it's because it is, which is why we're getting rid of it. So our new scaling mechanics come into play. So if a game is initially scaled to 100 players or more, then you'll be able to enter and leave freely. Every time a player enters or leaves, the Great Guardian will recalculate its current charge and how much is required to complete the round. So it should feel totally seamless and correctly balanced at all times. That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. This aims to cut down on frustration on themed Guardians of the Rift worlds where you'll frequently see 100 plus players inside the game and see people outside waiting for a chance to get in. If the game starts, it's not scaled to 100 players or more, then the game will be locked. This is so that people enjoying the minigame in small teams or perhaps as a clan event aren't interrupted by other players coming in and messing with their scaling. We know this should be an issue since it's a very safe bet that the themed worlds will always be above the cap or should have more than enough room if you're waiting to play outside of peak hours. Additionally, for every player beyond the 20th who joins, the amount charged needs to fully charge the Great Guardian will have a 20% scaling penalty. Effectively, this means players 21 and beyond scale things up by a smaller margin in order to account for the likelihood that some of the players in larger scales just aren't pulling their weight. Okay, we see you over there again. The minimum number of points needed and AFKing by your entrance, and we're very disappointed in you. So you've made it into the mini game. What's next? If you like, you can build the lowest tier of barriers, all guardians using uncharged cells by starting up without missing invaluable mining time. This won't provide any runecraft XP, but should reduce the number of games that fail from the outset, which is particularly useful for smaller teams where there's always a chance of a rough start. From there, it's business as usual until the round starts. There are no changes to mining Guardian fragments before the Rift starts opening up. As the Rift opens up, the eagle-eyed among you, particularly those experienced in smaller teams, might notice a change that reduces the variance on the first wave. If the first catalytic altar is a mind or body altar, providing the weak cells, then the first elemental altar cannot be an air altar and will be rolled into a water altar instead. This means that you'll always be guaranteed a choice which provides at least a medium cell from the first round. This change is intended to further reduce the chances that your run fails before you got into the swing of things, since you'll be able to get stronger barriers and guardians up and running ASAP. Okay. So once the first set of altars is accessible, you'll be able to craft your runes and charge your cells as normal. We've made another adjustment which will allow you to use your cells to recharge barriers even if they're at full HP, so that you don't feel as though you need to wait for the barrier to take some damage and pray that you're quicker to react. Okay, so yeah, just making things a lot easier, better. You'll definitely want to make use of that change too, since you'll be able to receive it. Okay, so you can get more runecraft XP and energy for using the cells and the barriers. Good, because people don't do that enough. So it's good that they're making that change. The cap here is to prevent people from just running cells endlessly without actually crafting any runes. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. But should generally result in higher XP than the current iteration outside of extreme cases in really long games. This is something we're keeping a close eye on, since we really want to make sure that people are still crafting their essence into runes and not changing up the flow of the game too much. If the barrier is destroyed, you'll be able to repair it using 12 Guardian Fragments instead of 10 Guardian Essence, since it's often the case that the time taken to craft the essence results in a build of abyss creatures that's insurmountable. Plus, it feels bad to be using essence you've crafted to repair a barrier and not get much out of it. It feels less bad to be using up fragments. Okay, yeah, it makes sense. Just like reducing the time for things. It's nice, makes the game just run smoother and encourages people to do the things that people don't normally do because, yeah, the barrier is too high. So that's everything you need to know about the change in the minigame itself. Everything beyond that we just mentioned is business as usual. Craft runes, get elemental catalytic essence, charge the Great Guardians, subdue the Abyssal Invaders, and win. So the changes don't end there, though. Let's see what's changing in the hard-earned points. So there's a big search option. If you obtain 5 sets of rewards at once, it's always fun stacking up an absolute boatload of catalytic elemental points and getting to cash them in all at once. But if you're looking to save time and get back to earning points more quickly, then we're sure this will be a welcome addition. Yeah, because sometimes I've been like getting getting my rewards, and then the barrier can't get through the barrier because the game's already started. So that's nice. But I guess now that doesn't matter anyway because you can join the game at any point. But yeah. So if you've already gotten a bunch of GOTR under your belt, then you're likely secured your Remnants of the Eye and are perhaps chasing one or two specific rewards. For a cost of 25 Abyssal Pearls, you'll be able to receive an extra roll on the Rewards Guardian. This should work out to an extra roll roughly every 14 searches, which should be an extra boost for players chasing specific items from Guardians of the Rift, especially if you're starting to go a little too dry on something. So what if you're not dry? What if you've been absolutely spooned on an Abyssal Needle and it feels like you're ages away from being able to use it? If that sounds like you, we've saved the best for last. We're adjusting the Colossal Pouch so that it scales up with you and cuts down on clicking if you're still working your way up to level 85 Runecraft, but remains an impactful boost to 85 and beyond. To make this happen, we're scaling the quantity of essence that the Colossal Pouch can store, depending on the other pouches that you can already use. So here's how much essence you'll be able to carry. So level 1, 2 extra. Nice. 39 extra essence in the Colossal. Goes up to... okay, so we'll be able to use the Colossal Pouch at lower levels. I see. That's cool. Because I have the bits to make it, I think. So this number comes from taking the number of essence the pouches can store, then subtracting the number for inventory spaces the pouches take up. For example, a small, medium, and large can store 18. Okay, so it's basically combining the existing pouches that you have into one, so you get those extra spaces, and then and then once you get to level 85, you get the extra pouches from the Colossal Pouch. That's really good. That's really nice because it's just annoying having 3 pouches, and then I've got this 4th pouch which I can't use to 85, but now I can use it to at least make clicking through the game a lot more easy. So if you've not used Beta World before, the next section of this post provides deal. Okay, how to use the beta words. That's not important. You don't think? Cool. Well, that sounds like some good changes. I'm happy to see that because I still need to do my rune crafting. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of this change. I think it's good.